6 game developers make one game using RPG Maker, but there's a twist. No communication between them is allowed. Each developer gets 48 hours to add whatever they want to the game. Will the simplicity of RPG Maker allow them to still create a great game, or will the lack of communication lead to confusion and despair? Here on ToastyTime, though, we ask, why can't great games and despair go together? Kicking off this journey into game development with sitcom levels of miscommunication, we have, I don't know, just some random dev?
Oh, hey, is Toasty around? Oh, thank God. Wait, hey, don't go. Can I show you my devlog real fast? Toasty made me do this, dev challenge thing, and I need someone to check it out before I send it off. Toasty wanted me to start this game dev project for the developers to work on in 2 days, which was not a lot of time. It was kind of hard starting because I have to make the whole thing from scratch, but that's okay. As much as it would be fun to make this sort of actiony or platforming mechanic to base the game around, I didn't want to inadvertently sort of lock away other RPG Maker features like I would in like a different kind of game I would make like that. Don't tell Toasty I made that, by the way. So I need to be creative with what kind of mechanic I create, and that's where I came up with map mixing. It's sort of like a Link to the Past where you have like a light world and a dark world, but instead of exclusively switching between these two worlds, you would bring in portions of one world into the other. Basically, the idea is you can switch a portion of the map to the other map to get past certain obstacles or achieve certain things, but it would still remain compatible with most of RPG Maker's other things. Implementing it in the code was actually not that bad. You just layer 2 maps on top of each other and then edit the shader code for the tile maps to not show certain portions. It was actually kind of cool because while it's in the shaders, I could also add this cool like border effect between where the maps meet, and then I also did this like animation effect, which was cool now, but all of that took up like the whole first day, and I hadn't even started the project yet, which Toasty was not pleased about. So day 2, I just made as many puzzles as I could, which was important because I wasn't sure if the other developers would understand the intent of the mechanic on account of the fact I can't communicate with anyone here. So I started making levels. The premise of the game was basically the witch's house. I don't know. You sleep in a bed and all of a sudden the world starts getting all fucky. It opens new paths. There's this block pushing puzzle. I was desperate. I know, okay? But there were some cool puzzles, like it teaches you how it works by like showing this chest here, and then there's also these really cool puzzles where like you hit the switch and the bridge appears for just a couple seconds. So you need to push the pot a little, then go back and push it a bit more to get all the way through without falling down. And then there's one where you have to time it where you just make it so the fireballs go sent to the other world, and then there's also like a trap where it sends enemies into the world. I haven't made a battle system myself that's interesting, but I'm sure someone else will take care of that. I really wanted to give the player the ability to shift like a whole radius of the world around them themselves to use as an ability, but I kind of ran out of time. Don't tell Toasty that. As far as he's concerned, it was basically done. Yeah. Oh, you're leaving? I guess that's fine. I need to get back to work before Toasty gets back, but it was nice talking to you. Oh, hey, wait a second. Toasty let me start streaming, so go check out twitch.tv/SomeRanDev for some Toasty. Hey, I was just telling this person about, it's good. Toasty, please.
1 down, 5 to go. And next up, we're really gonna level up the competition.
What's up, my name is Liam Sedoui, known here on YouTube as LvLUpDesign. I run a channel where I teach beginners how to use the RPG Maker engine. But I am also, do I look like that? But I am also the producer, lead game designer, and level designer on the upcoming Call of Elindra, a hybrid cozy RPG adventure where you can grow crops, battle monsters, and unearth ancient secrets across diverse biomes. Cozy or adventure. In Call of Elindra, you can play your own way. Check us out on Steam. So I open up the project that SRD has sent through to me, and I can see he's put together this map mixing mechanic where he's made a few levels and puzzles to go with it, and now it's my turn. Yeah, I'm having a deconstructed fruit salad for lunch. So I've got some level warping going on here. See, the thing is, Toasty's given us each 2 days to work on this, so what do I want to work on? I know, I'm going to work on everything. So I wrote myself a list of things I wanted to achieve over the next few days. Add custom music, add custom tiles, build out the story a bit more. Maybe add a few puzzles. Try and wake up earlier even though there's no material benefit in doing so, and I'll probably just end up sitting on the couch playing mobile games. So I started by putting together some music for the game. I opened up FL Studio and got to work on one of their built-in generators to create the main theme. And then I wanted to create a theme that had a lot of tension attached to it. So I opened up my Google machine because there was a specific thing that I wanted to find. Always increasing pitch. Pitch never stops going up. Pitch illusion. Pitch perfect 2. Shepherd's tone, that's the one. For those of you who don't know what a shepherd's tone is, it's essentially an audio illusion where it sounds like the pitch is going up and increasing continuously. Here's an example. And here's my take on that. Fuck yeah! So that's the music ticked off. I'm sure I won't need to come back to this. Then I started working on building out the world by adding some more puzzle elements using SRD's map mixing plugin, and it took me longer than I care to admit how to figure out how to get it to work. Hours. I tried to make a single puzzle, then gave up immediately because I had too many ideas bouncing around my head, and the next devs can make more puzzles. I then spent some more hours either creating new auto tiles or colour editing some of the existing ones to give the game a bit more of a unique feel to it. Once I'd done that, it was time to expand the story, so I quickly put together a crappy little intro cutscene thing that someone can improve later or leave as is, and gave the story a bit of premise.
You say you want to know the truth about what happened to the princess after the fall of the DEVS family.
I added a few more story elements to the game and a few new levels, and I also created a halfway point where the player can now fully transport into the other world. I also made a song for that. There was just a few hours left and I was satisfied. That's a lie, I'm not satisfied. I've got severe imposter syndrome, which I never make public, but boy, does it have some mean things to say about me.
Are you sure you've done enough?
Are you even a good game developer?
People are gonna laugh at your contribution.
You haven't really done anything over the past few days, have you?
Alright, you want memorable? You want content? I'll give you content. So here's the situation. I've got a few hours left and my brain's bullying me. So I'm gonna make new mechanic, the casino. Everyone knows that Toasty loves gambling away all his hard-earned money in RPG games, so I decided to make a machine specifically for him. I've called it Bread Time. How it works is you've got to find these animals to give you animal coins, and you have to pet them for them to give you the animal coin, and then when you spend that animal coin at the casino, you have a chance to win more animal coins. What do you do with the animal coins? I also wrote a quick bop for the casino on Honky Tonky Piano, and I recorded some sound effects for the animals as well for when you pat them.
Woof. Meow. Oink, oink.
Whoop up 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 pow! Now, with all of that achieved, I can pass the game files over to Moondog, sit back, relax, and enjoy a nice sip of coffee. This isn't coffee.
Sorry for doing that to your coffee, Level Up, but you know me, sometimes I just get a Moonwood.
Good day, everyone. My name is MoonwoodGames. I started streaming my game dev process for my project Tomb of Versilius last December. Tomb of Versilius is a dungeon-crawling, roguelike, old-school style RPG with randomly generated levels, blackjack to replace the battle mechanics, magical d20s that you'll collect as you go throughout the tomb and merge them together to create more powerful d20s. I stream the game dev progress 3 days a week on both YouTube and Twitch, and over on YouTube I post shorts and devlogs and all that fun stuff. Now, if that seems like something you'd be interested in, if you want to follow the process, see how it's all made, or if you just want to know when it's going to be available for download or to play, make sure to follow on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube. I also have an itch page if you want to follow that. Now, without further ado, on to the devlog. Now, when I first loaded up the project, I got super excited seeing what was already here. As I kept playing further, my mind just started running at 100 miles an hour, thinking about everything that I wanted to add, things that I wanted to fix, and I just started getting this growing list in my mind of things that I wanted to start working on. And the first part is when you go to sleep. It just faded out, there was a crashing sound, a little message popped up, and then you woke up. I felt like it needed something to really pad it out and make it feel a lot more impactful. You know, give it a bit of a punch. The next thing that I noticed was the lighting. There were some glitches, some inconsistencies, and I just wanted to make it look as good as possible. And then last but not least was this whole battle encounter. When I played it for the first time, I ran out of the room because the freaking monster scared me, and they didn't come chasing after me, and I was like, okay, fair, like that's kind of expected with RPGs. But I started thinking to myself, like, what if they could chase me? I also want to change the whole default battle scene. Not that there's anything wrong with the default battle scene, but I wanted to go with something a little bit more memorable. Now, with a whole list of bugs to fix and features to add, I think we are good to get started. Starting off with the sleeping mechanics, as you can see here, very, very basic. Just fades out, explosion sound, waits, shows a message, and then brings you all back. So let's make that a little bit more exciting. Now, the first thing that came to mind for me were little lights, little floating things. I thought about how I wanted them to like maybe flash around a little bit and maybe have some kind of like spinning thing and going a little bit crazy. And so just kind of took some variables and did some randomization, and then wha-bam! You got yourself some glowing lights that flash around at all random times and things and fun stuff. And now if you decide to go to bed, it'll fade out the screen and start doing these little flashy things and going crazy, and all the locations are completely random, so it's never the same thing twice, except for this little spinning animation is the same thing, but then it goes round and round and round and gets crazier, and I don't know. I thought it was a little bit better. Next up was the lighting, and that one was just kind of a tedious process, nothing too exciting. I just took the usual flame event character sheet and made one where they were up higher on the wall so they weren't sitting so low. I also created a light test map so I could go through and see every single shape for all the different lighting IDs so that I knew which ones would fit best and where I should put them on the walls. And eventually I was able to get the lights to look like this, to look like this. So, improvement, I would say. Now, the last two big things on my list that I wanted to do were related to the battle mechanics. Specifically to the guys in here, because you walk in and they see you immediately, and if you run, then you can run out of the room and they don't chase you. I wanted to create this false sense of security. You know, people would think they leave the room and the monsters aren't going to follow you out here. They are. You're not safe. So if you're out here, everything's fine. There's no events. You can walk around. Woo! But then if you come in here and if you see them and you run, everything's still fine. They won't chase you. Nothing's going to happen. But you come back in here and they notice you. And if you run, well, you're not safe. They're going to come for you anyway. And that leads us into the next part. The battle mechanics. Now, I wanted to avoid your regular, boring old battle mechanics. Everyone's seen them before. It's been done. You get attacked and you just go through the regular battle mechanics. It's been done. We want to do something that hasn't been done. Hey, what kind of battle mechanics have ever been done before? I don't know. Timed battle mechanics? So after a lot of time, frustration, JavaScript, and eventing, we finally got the battle system. So anyway, all you really need is to just change one variable. Just setting variable 36, so combat enemy, setting it to 1, will load enemy number 1. And the way that'll work is over here in your enemies, you've got enemy number 1. So that determines health, attack, any and all stats that you would like to set. They can all just be right here, and it'll pull in those stats. And at that point, it was just as easy as just making it work based off of button pushes and lining things up. And yeah, that was just super easy. Didn't have any issues at all. It just worked perfectly from day one, and all the timing stuff worked correctly, and I never had any issues. None at all. And that about wrapped up my 48 hours. That's all I had time for. And yeah, as much as I wanted to keep going and keep making more, I needed to get the project all zipped up and passed along. And so I zipped it up and I passed it along.
While Riggy waits for his top secret package to arrive in the mail, it got me thinking about those top secret members only ToastyTime videos. So I clicked onto the join button just to see, and I realized, wait, it's only $1 a month? And with that, you get access to over 40 ToastyTime members-only videos, a cool little crouton icon next to your name that changes the longer you're a member, and some epic, kind of horrific images of my face that you can harass me with in live stream chats. So guys, please consider becoming a channel member. It's only $1 and it really helps me out. I appreciate every single one of you so much. And here's a running list of all the current channel members. Thank you guys for supporting ToastyTime. You mean everything to me. Now, I'm getting word that Riggy got his package in the mail, so let's see if he enjoys the extra little surprise that I left inside for him.
Well, my turn. My name's Ricky2K3. You may know me as that guy on Twitch and YouTube, always playing RPG Maker games of varying quality. I kind of feel like that's something you could say about everybody who's part of this. Regardless, thank you, Toasty, for having me. For my 2 days on the project, I decided to kind of focus on one thing. You had all these really cool ideas that everybody sort of put together and was throwing at the wall, but it didn't feel very cohesive quite yet. So I thought it would be fun for me to focus less on getting stuff done, focus less on like getting new content in, and just fine-tune what's already in there and make it kind of feel tight and different and cohesive and fun. When I got the game, the whole thing was still using RPG Maker RTP, and it didn't really do much to separate itself from like your average RTP game, so I thought a makeover would be a great first place to start. The game itself is put in this really tiny window size, so rather than change that, of which I had a lot of trouble with, I thought it would be more fun to try something retro-y styled, which I'm kind of more familiar with and a little bit more comfortable working in. I also thought it kind of fit the intro cutscene a little bit better. The first thing I did was find a fantastic free graphics pack from a guy named the Mighty Palm. The pack is called the Mighty Pack, and it contains like graphics for just about everything for your RPG Maker game. Tile sets, items on the map, NPCs. Like, it had so much stuff in there that I thought it would be really fun to use. It's also free to use for anybody, and the tiles are 48 by 48, but you can really easily condense them down to 32 by 32 or even smaller. The project itself being 32 by 32 meant that I had to kind of do that myself. But yeah, shout out to the Mighty Palm, because it's a cool pack. Definitely recommend checking it out. In addition, there were just like a couple of music tracks in the game that I'm not sure who made, somebody in the series made, but since there were a couple tracks and we needed a couple more, I grabbed a bunch of music that I had lying around from a bunch of different scrapped games and projects. I have like an embarrassing amount of music that I've never used, so here's a great opportunity to use it. So here we go. So enjoy these cool music tracks that I put in the game, like this one. Or how about this one? Or perhaps this one. To begin, I sort of went through everything that was in there and kind of made an assessment of all the stuff I had to do. I knew I had to gut the menuing of like all the useless stuff that was in there that was not even being enjoyed. That's somebody else. If somebody else wants to put some of that back, that's fine, but ain't no reason why we need item categories or menu commands for status and stuff. We're not really doing any of that, are we? And after that, I just went to town on a bunch of different details for the game. I updated all the maps to look nicer, and I added a bunch of decor. I replaced all the RTP buttons with like an Easter Island head looking totem guy that came with the tile set. I adjusted all the animals that I think I'm almost certain LvLUpDesign made, given the sound clips.
Meow.
I adjusted all those so it kind of functions better and that they would disappear after you speak to them. Using Galv's message styles plugin, which is one of my favorites, I added a new style of dialogue, and then I also added a custom font so everything kind of felt a little bit more cohesive on that front. I added flavor text to just about everything on the map. I added some NPCs to talk to. I added an item that's a credits book, so when you use the item, it would show you who's worked on the game. Only I kind of just did that to my own knowledge. I don't know if I missed anybody, but you know, we can probably go back later and Toasty, you could fix that, right? And I cleaned up all the stuff that I changed and kept playing it over and over and over until it felt good. I also fixed a couple bugs, and then I fixed a couple of times where the game would repeat events because you were going in the same area. Though I will say that towards the end of the game, I think there are a couple of things that you can do again, but that's Tron's problem. The last thing I did was give the game a title, which I'm not sure if we'll keep, but I put a title there. And that was pretty much it. I finished up at midnight on my second day, sent it over to Tron, and here we are. I just wanted to say that I appreciate and respect all of the guys that I got to work on this project with. So thank you so much to Toasty for inviting me. If you don't know who I am, my name's Riggy2K3.
That's right, I've cast a horrifying spell on Riggy, and the only one who can stop it is Tron. Let's see if he can do it.
Okay, short introduction. Hi, I'm the real Tron, a Twitch streamer and game developer of Our Dying World, which you can wishlist on Steam. My part in the project was pretty short altogether. My strongest skill set is writing and working with voice acting, so I intended just to slap some funny voice lines in the project and call it a day. Until I saw how well built it was. So, this seems like an actual video game? Oh fuck, there's work put into this. Oh my god. I hate working with talented people, man. Now I'm gonna have to spend all this time making sure I don't just ruin everything. So, upon seeing what was built and knowing that only Toasty was after me, I decided to clean up the project a bit and focus on making sure an ending was available. The first thing I did was fix an impossible puzzle. It was the bats that go back and forth. I just simply removed it and copied the same event that allows you to walk through the wall. I also placed some events on the wall walkways which allowed you to step onto them. After that, I focused on the ending. To put it bluntly, the story that was built up was a complete mess. What started as a silly spooky/silly investigation turned into a random character showing up. Princess mentioning a whole kingdom, that sort of thing is bound to happen when having multiple people work on the same thing, especially when no communication is allowed. I'm not a fan of this method, but I thought the only way to make sense out of the nonsense is to address it directly. I went for a cute meta ending, which happens when you reach the princess. Because I wasn't fully proud of it, I decided it would be best to leave some room for Toasty to make his own ending too. Throughout the game, you collect animal coins, but I noticed there was seemingly no purpose for these yet, so I thought it would be a good idea for the amount of them to change what ending you get. This is actually something I do in my own game too, which is, I was a little bit inspired to do so. I also created a few other endings, and left things fairly open for Toasty to wrap it up. And yeah, that concludes my part. Not nearly as impressive as the others, but they seem to like my contribution at the end, so that makes me happy.
Alright, who's gonna make me free content next? Oh shit, it's me.
Hello my croutons, it's ToastyTime, and if you know anything about me, you'll know that instantly upon playtesting this game, I was filled with despair. Care to guess why? Especially in a game with this kind of spooky ambiance, footstep sounds are an absolute must in order to build tension and immersion. I also noticed a number of other things were missing sound effects, and so resigned myself to being the boring polish guy of the video. Now normally I just get my sound effects with freesound.org, but in the spirit of the challenge, I tried making my own. Thus, I spent the next hour or so hyperfixating on sounds until I found the perfect ones that each made me instantly erect. Unfortunately though, I only know how to do different text display sounds when there are face graphics at play, which I couldn't get looking good here, so there's just one sound. I think this obsession with sound design stems from my work on my new game GrimDelve, which is a gloomy post-apocalyptic game set in underground caverns. Great sound design is half of what makes this setting eerie. Just think of those Minecraft cave noises. Anyways, the next thing I did was a divine calling from God.
Remove the god-awful mobile menu button because it totally ruins immersion.
And so I did. I next tried to modify the text pop-ups for the animal coins because I didn't like this text box eating up half the screen with so little text in it, but I pathetically failed in my eventing and gave up. I'll just go modify this plugin code. Oh, never mind. At this point, I was becoming scared I would never match up to the other game devs, but then I channeled the powers I used back in my last game dev challenge with SomeRanDev and decided to lock in. I edited the last half of the intro movie so that the paper thing didn't show up twice with different quality levels. I also added a sound effect, then I modified some dialogue dialogue for better flow and changed a few event triggers so that it's now impossible to miss them. I also fixed some tile collision errors. Next, I decided to spruce up some of these maps because a few were horrifically ginormous and empty, which made me feel afraid like I do in open water. In doing this, I added the world's easiest jump puzzle because I wanted to contribute to the gameplay. It was around this point that I realized one of the previous devs left a blank ending for me to fill in with whatever I want.
Whoever did this is very naughty, and I will be spanking them off camera.
I was originally going to add a centipede boss fight in honor of Blackthorn Prod, who inspired this video, but I couldn't figure out the battle system and I can't draw, so instead I added an epic gambling ending because I love gambling away all of my money. But if you win, there is a super special secret reward. Now it's day 2, and to kick things off, I spent way too much time learning a brand new menu plugin that is actually pretty cool in order to simplify the menu because we didn't need all of this. Next, I fixed up a few more dialogue issues, added something to the title screen because black screens are overused and boring, gave some actual reason you can't follow the princess, and added torches in the direction of key items in order to help subtly lead the player. Finally, I made it so that these events hold their position if you enter the bedroom and go back, and subsequently added my favorite kind of secret ending where you can decide to just leave and not investigate. Then I ran out of time, so I decided to leave and not investigate why you haven't subscribed yet.
I told you
I did that.
fell it off. And the princess, she didn't just disappear.
You gotta hit a pose after saying that. I did that.
It's better if you just go.
I can hardly read this. Who wrote this? That's in the document. Okay, that was me. It was me. I drew the documentation, the picture. Okay, amazing, amazing.
Glazing himself.
Art is there from the start. This place is definitely a level.
Ah, God, are you guys excited to see the princess's big honkers? Because I am.
Okay, custom menu.
That's a spoiler.
That way, I did not remember the menu. Being a thing
I did that.
Okay.
I will take credit for throwing everybody's name in there.
Thanks, Ricky. We all needed the ego boost.
Click on the tree, see if we can chop it down for crafting.
Oh.
Shit! I didn't even think about crafting mechanics.
God, was there any testing after you were done, Toasty?
Yeah. Ah! I fucking love these.
Best I can suggest is lay down into anything paranormal you find. I swear that stuff brings us places we'd never find otherwise. Thanks for the help.
Not on the nose at all. Straight up, love. I was tweaking at this song at one point. I was like, it's still going. It doesn't make sense. I had a moment.
When I was adding music though, I made sure that the songs that were already in were still being used though.
We need one big yaoi fan art of this. I didn't understand it at all. I was so scared to add any gameplay.
I knew that was gonna happen. I knew that was gonna happen. I was like, I have to add as much gameplay as I can because no one's gonna understand this at all except me.
It took me like a day to understand. I was like, okay.
Yeah, nobody edited it.
Music.
Nobody updated it because.
Well,
this puzzle was
crazy. I got stuck here.
No, I did too. This puzzle was actually surprisingly hard. So wait, hold on. Okay, small detail. That left seat for the table was actually up one tile, and so I thought when I was first doing the puzzle that I couldn't push the bottle that way. You can walk on it, but I thought I couldn't, so I moved it down a tile, and then I think it makes it a little easier.
Makes sense.
That's smart. That's.
Oh yeah. Oh, grab that chest. Okay.
I felt so bad for these shadows, dude. Like, you just beat the living crap.
they get dismembered.
I think you have comments in for like how it works, and I tried reading it because I wanted to do something with comments.
Ah!
And I was like,
That's communication!
The map thing.
No, you're just documenting a plugin. It's okay. Just plugin documentation.
I did like 2 comments where I was just like, put the picture in here, give it this ID. That's it.
Yeah,
what that is?
Challenge fail
on your code. No, that's how you write code. You have to annotate it.
Oh, okay. It's inevitable.
Yeah, there was a puzzle here that I did, and the idea was that you have to like make the events disappear by like triggering it right at the right time, but it was so janky.
They didn't. They never did. I was like, this is impossible.
No, what? No.
Oh, you removed it. Toasty, the bottle.
There was a bottle?
That was my bottle.
That's what she placed the sound. She there was a sound effect. She placed the bottle there.
I never saw a bottle.
Oh no. Okay,
whoops.
wait.
Well, the barrier is the barrier's blocking these new. So
yeah. So I was confused because there was no bottle. You would just walk up and it wouldn't let you go to the next map. So then I added that to give some reason why
You couldn't go to the next map, but I never saw a bottle in my playthrough.
That's weird because that's why that like she made that sound effect.
Ah, that makes more sense. I see.
Wonder
I thought
why it
she was
disappeared.
dying and getting shot with a crossbow.
But originally there was a barrier in the middle of the room.
We're all confused.
Originally, how I designed this was you grab the book from the princess area, put it in that bookshelf, and it opens up the new area. Someone's just bypassed that.
Give me a
I made this puzzle. I didn't do it very well, but I made it.
This puzzle's
Nice.
awesome.
I really like it.
That's great.
That one was very good.
Wait, why is this goblin kind of... Hi there. Want to meet my pet fox?
Did you say, why is this goblin kinda? Yes, 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 yes!
Red top, should I
Gamble!
Let's go.
No gambling! Aw, dang it.
Do it again! We gotta make it back! No!
This is actually the run. This
This
is the run.
is it. Come on, we can do it.
Gambling!
Fuck! Yes!
Yeah!
Yes! Keep going now. We're on a streak. We're on a streak.
That's what I thought.
Oh.
Oh, dang it.
Okay, what's over here then? Ooh.
Whoa!
Whoa!
What the fuck?
Oink.
Oh god! Oh god!
Run!
Me! Alright, time for some battle.
I wish we could have made it longer, or if things make more sense. Well, honestly, we probably could have done better on that second part, but... Perhaps it's a mistake talking to you, Reedy, with the eyes that sit behind yours. Maybe they'll be able to understand what I mean. Anyways, I think that's about all I can say. People tend to get upset when the dialogue starts to drag. Goodbye, Reedy.
It's so deep.
I hope you had some fun at least.
Beautiful.
Hold
Here
on.
it comes.
Hold on. Wait. This is not my ending. What happened here?
Did your ending not work?
Fuck! I thought it did.
This is
Hold on.
this is my other ending.
Hold on. We'll explain. We get to wake up as Reed. It's beautiful.
The RTP world. No.
Hell on
It gets
earth.
worse.
No!
We gotta kill the Demon King.
Oh my god. It checks
out
if
of
you're
order.
above 12, else if you're above 20.
Yeah, it's
So you're
out of
always
order.
above 12.
Fuck!
Okay.
Fuck.
This will not be a ToastyTime video. What's about to happen? Toasty, what's about to happen? Without gooning? Huh. There's also a picture attached. Toasty.
Oh.
Toasty.
Will you get the good end, or will you look at the picture?
Look at it, look at it, look at it.
It's
I'm
gonna
looking. My beloved, you must not goon, loved one. Oh my god, the secret freaky lore! This is Freaky's canon voice. You must not goon, young one. Find peace in the simple joy of knowing you succeeded at gambling. Why want more? Turn the game off. Ending C, free to touch. Okay, I'm free.
Best ending! Yay!
Nice. Beautiful. Great
Completion
stuff.
is
Great
done.
stuff.
Let's
Well
go.